Listen.
As we know, of course, there is no higher honor, though, than winning a Golden Globe. Absolutely nothing. There is no award better in all of Hollywood than the Golden Globes, period.
So we're at the point where the presenters aren't even taking these award shows seriously anymore, and they're the ones getting paid for it. Like, they had the new Mean Girls come out last year, but it was the Academy that had a burn book on all their stars. We've got actors calling out actors, they're pulling out worse tweets than Kanye's, they've got stans hunting down voters so that they can fund campaigns themselves. And then it turns out it's the other stans outstanding for their star. And man, it's worse than the election out here. So considering that there's a dozen shows that give out awards, I'm going to recap all of the highlights that you need to know leading up to the big night. All of the controversies, all of the times the wicked girls were running around, and gather up all of the winners so far, since we all know that these award shows are just a big audition for the Oscars. Now let me explain. Starting off with the actors, we're looking at the supporting category where Zoe's been winning all of them. You know, the Globes, the BAFTA, the SAG. She's been winning so many awards and talking so long that she went from saying
Emelia Perez
to
Emelia Perez.
And even though she's a sure win, they also went after her. Like, I had made this joke a while back, but people just put together that Gamora has done green face, blue face, and I wish I was kidding when I said blackface. There's then Kieran, who's also been sweeping for a real pain, and honestly, nobody but Jeremy Strong is mad at him for winning this award, because this guy is so lovable that he is known for memorizing his lines on the spot. And dude has not memorized a single speech this entire run.
I don't think there's any way anyone can hold this for 45 seconds, which is the allotted time, Adrian Brody, 45 seconds. There was no reason to take that shot. I love you, it's a joke. Lord knows I will, because I didn't think of anything.
That said, I do have to call it out for category fraud. See, I love A Real Pain, and that was a movie that I caught way back at Sundance and thought that this man was elite, because when you look at Jesse Eisenberg's screen time, he's on there for 62 minutes and 29 seconds. Culkin is on for 58 minutes and 6 seconds and ends the movie. Saldana's even crazier because she's on for 57 minutes and 50 seconds. That's more than the lead of the movie. And this has been a pattern at the Oscars before. Like, if you remember Judas and the Black Messiah, they put them both as supporting, and there was like no leads for that movie, and you continue to see it here with the other nominees. Look at Wicked. On Broadway, both of them were leads. And now, even though Glinda opens the movie, and will probably even be lead next year, she chose to take supporting just so that she can get a nomination. We call that the Saquon Barkley. Honestly, even when you look at someone like Felicity, who was in half of the movie, I mean, her movie was over 3.5 hours long, so I'm considering that another feature-length film.
That's fine. Just fine.
Moving on to lead actresses, we've also got a really stacked category, because there's Mickey picking up a BAFTA and an Indie, Cynthia ready to get that EGOT, but it looks like Demi wants it more. So far, she's picked up the most gold and has been winning even with these really weird videos of her resurfacing from back in the day, which I've been seeing a lot of people post this and say, yo, this is disgusting. And then they roll film. I'm not gonna do that here. As for lead actor, after hosting SNL to sing about not winning an award, Timmy got the win from his peers at the Screen Actors Award. And he gave the most he's him speech ever.
And I know we're in a subjective business, but the truth is, I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. I'm inspired by the greats here tonight.
This man really said,
I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you.
Thank you so much.
But the big competition is still with Adrian Brody from The Brutalist, winning the Globes, the BAFTA. He's the youngest to ever win an Academy Award with The Pianist back in the day. But if Timmy wins this year, that means Chalamet holds the record. That's why it was a big deal when the AI stuff leaked and they started talking about performance-enhancing algorithms, because we've had several movies get hit with this claim. Like, Adrian having AI used in order to better his accent is pretty rough. But even worse when you know this tech is out there and they couldn't fix Selena Gomez and Emelia. They even pulled up a clip of Adrian on SNL, and it was pretty disrespectful seeing him just straight up appropriate Chet Hanks like that. Even when you look at some of the other nominees, there's been some controversy, like Sebastian Stan getting nominated for A Different Man and winning it at the Globe, also getting that Gotham win. But this isn't the problem. It's the fact that he was in another movie called The Apprentice, and they revealed that no other nominees wanted to do interviews with him. It was so bad, it became a bit at the award show.
This was not an easy movie to make. Neither is The Apprentice, the other film that I was lucky to be a part of and I'm proud of being.
Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice.
And The Apprentice is handing out warning labels, not for anything specific, just for mentioning the movie.
Honestly, I even started peering at other award shows because there were some actors like Andre Holland who I thought was really good in exhibiting forgiveness, so I had to see where else he was nominated, and he was up for an NAACP award alongside Coleman Domingo, who honestly was probably going to be the one to...
Martin Lawrence.
Wait, ain't no way y'all had an Oscar nominee in here and still went with...
Are those dogs fresh?
I put them on yesterday.
Put some relish and some mustard on that motherfucker.
Hey, never mind. Martin Sweep. Now, there's a whole road to the Oscars that are all meant to build up to the Academy. And like we said, you have a bunch of different shows, like the Indie Spirits that honor the most expensive indie spirits.
Welcome to the Independent Spirit Awards! Yes! Hollywood's third or fourth biggest night.
There's a critic circle for every filmmaker who didn't make a film, the BAFTAs that don't push enough British films, and then all of the guilds. See, one of the best ways to guess the Oscars is by knowing who the voters are. And all of these GAs that you see on people's names in the credits show you if they're a part of the Writers Guild, so they're in the WGA, or Directors Guild, so they're the DGA. But one of the biggest ones is the PGA, since the producers are the ones who actually take home Best Picture, and they're the ones talking since they made the movie, not the actors, sometimes not even the director. So a lot of people know that this is the one to keep an eye on. And it's pretty easy to find. See, you just go to the PGA wiki, pass through the Weinstein controversy, all the sexual abuse allegations, skim through the expulsion section, brush past the anti-sexual task force, and after reading their entire code of conduct policy, Scott Rudin allegations, more initiatives, you'll see that Honora won the PGA. Because after all of those tangents, why wouldn't you honor the sex worker movie? The only screener they probably saw till completion.
You're so classy. I know.
In fact, people forget that the Oscars did start as a way to give other producers gold so that they could then produce people's movies. So it is kind of a mixed bag of being the biggest award show and, wanting it to be better. But also knowing, here's a big secret, winning an Oscar means you are going to all their dinners. It is a club. See, the reason why campaigning involves all of these shows and dinners before you get the ceremony is because they're literally voting for who they're giving a gold card to. Who is gonna join them at all of these Academy events forever. So sorry if you didn't know Santa was real, but clearly sometimes the merit at the Oscars isn't either, because it does come down to high school politics.
But you can know the value of your worth if you just put down the measuring stick. And so today, I celebrate this as a marker.
Ma'am, you just switched out the measuring stick. Some of the other goofiness involved would be Netflix having an entire campaign to promote Karla Gaston as the first trans actress to ever be nominated. And then her tweets leaked and they threw her back in the closet. Guy Pearce also came out to call out Spacey for their history on set back in the day, which was really crazy considering the role Pearce played in The Brutalist. And even wilder when Spacey actually responded like he was in House of Cards. As for Timmy, this boy's only controversy, it's with his fan club.
The same people have been saying that I'm serving mother and slay the boots house down.
Here are the nominees who left no crumbs.
Ugh, man. I also don't get when they got presenters doing letterbox reviews. Globes, you are so bad as a movie show that you don't even honor cinematography.
I mean, Letterboxd is an incredible community, but there are certain terrorists on there who must be stopped.
And when it comes to all of the hosts that have done the awards so far, I do think that Nikki Glazer's been the best, at least before Conan goes on, but I do find it crazy that they liked her enough to have her host and even bring her back. But the Globes couldn't give her the gold for nominating her?
If you're watching on CBS, hello. If you're watching on Paramount Plus, you have 6 days left to cancel your free trial.
I also really appreciate it when you can tell that the hosts actually watch the films and do care. They're not just bashing the nominees to sound cool, but are willing to make it fun, even when they get censored on what jokes they can or cannot tell.
God, creator of the universe, 0 mentions. And Mario Lopez, host of Access Hollywood, 1. All right. No surprise in this godless town.
Another funny part is when television awards honor television by hosting terrible television. I'm talking about the Golden Globes being so bad with their cameras that it looked like a Cloverfield movie. The SAGs were honoring Jane Fonda, and in the middle, this happened.
We know why they do what they do. We feel their joys and their pain.
Here at the 31st.
And I can conjure up voices.
Man, and don't even get me started on how they see people. They really have them so far back that I had to laugh at the GPS team they had going on for these shows, because after 3 exit ramps and a Yui, they had these actors lost.
Recalculating.
Now, in terms of awards for TV, let me recap it for you. There was Shogun that won all the big ones across all of the award show, so this is your reminder to watch it over everything else I'm listing. Baby Reindeer kept sweeping the best limited series and even supporting actress with Jessica, who again was so far away I had enough time to rewatch the whole miniseries.
I almost tripped up. You nearly saw my Golden Globes then.
That said, the best actor for limited series stopped going to Baby Reindeer's Gad once Colin Farrell was eligible for The Penguin, and the moment he was up and nominated, this man snatched them all right after.
You know, it's lovely to win an acting award because ever since The Penguin came on the scene, my confidence has been real low, so...
Jodie Foster also won again, but the only thing to note here is that Sophia started yelling at her, like almost went full Griselda for not getting an award.
You know, the greatest thing about...
Paxton started picking up a lot of the best comedy awards, with Gene Smart sweeping for acting, but it's been goofy seeing Jeremy Allen White, who everyone knows from The Bear, doing a dramatic role for a comedy category, and seeing all these comedians just mad at him all these years, and then when they finally do win against them, these guys didn't even go.
We never win. This is so weird.
Nah, that's funny. Finally, we got the biggest movie awards. And sometimes they even create some. Like, the Golden Globes decided to make a best box office one, which you would say, all award shows are subjective, so this would be that award that honors something that you can definitely... And they gave it to the one that didn't make the most box office.
Hey, Dwayne.
Also, just to show this speed, because trust, The Rock did not want to do a live-action Moana or come back to the Fast series. DC left Dwayne cooked. As for animated, I'd say that it's going to Flow, who I feel has the least drama coming out of their drama. Like, I know that the Brits want Wallace and Gromit to win, and I'm not against them, I love them. But the Flow boys pulled up Paul Giamatti when they won the Globe, and went to In-N-Out. I kid you not, I've never loved a more simpler Oscar reaction to getting nominated.
And for Best Animated Feature Film, here are the nominees. Flow. Inside Out 2. Memoir of a Snail.
Moving on to some music and screenplays, it's a rough award season when the Golden Globes are the only ones getting it right for score because the Oscars didn't even listen to challengers. That said, The Brutalist is also taking it in places where people may not know what AI stands for, and it's crazy because I really do love that score, but it's funny that they're taking it out on the acting, and no one's broken down how they got that score. Again, still a good one. Screenplay has also been split between the original either going to A Real Pain or Anora, Conclave or Nickel Boys when it comes to adapted. But the biggest fight I've seen is in documentary for Porcelain War or No Other Land. And while one does have the edge, it's been kind of weird seeing them campaigning on whose invasion is worse? Then there's the non-English, international, whatever the award show thinks is most progressive to title it, but it continues to go to the most regressive film, Emelia Perez. Like, this is a French guy picking up American awards for a movie he directed in Spanish, in a country he's never been at. They also won for Best Song, and it's bad when they're saying it in their own award show.
This is such an American experience.
It's bad when they're revealing that they worked on the music of a musical after filming the musical. This must have won for comedy, because it's a joke.
Hello, very nice to meet you. I'd like to know about sex change operation.
I see. Wrapping up the last two categories is director and best picture, which kind of go hand in hand. The only thing that I would say for director, especially leading into the Oscars, is that Coralie from The Substance is the 9th woman to ever get nominated for an Oscar. Bruh, all this talk and the Academy can't name 10 after almost 100 years? How is the worst enemy of the Oscars the Oscars? As for Best Picture, though, there's so much controversy coming with a lot of these films that are also great, so there's a chance that you don't see these as controversies. See, there's The Brutalist, that's won the Globe and so many critic awards, but AI being mentioned as something that was used, even ever so slightly, hurts a movie that's all about craftsmanship and not algorithms. Anora won the most probably with the PGA, DGA, Indies, everything. But if AI is bad, imagine a sex worker movie with no intimacy coordinator. Wicked, I don't even know how it got this far. Amelia's worse than Bedelia. And then Conclave, which I'm secretly rooting for, got goofed on so bad because it won the big ensemble award at SAG, and they somehow left this guy out of it. due to their goofy rules. So whether your favorite movie wins on Sunday or not, the beauty of it is that it still stays as your must-watch. Like, even though all these award shows get weird or do too much and somehow also do too little, the point of this whole season is to be swept up in the best cinema has to offer. That you connected with something that doesn't need a $1,000 campaign and doesn't need gold in order to be #1 to you. That said, the best speech all award season still goes to Chapel. Thank you all for checking out this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like I mentioned, I'm going to get into my Oscar picks, and even bigger than that, all of the films that I would have nominated in my LME Oscar picks video coming up. But until then, a big shout out to Kalshi that's bringing you the Oscar picks right to you. It's the first legal financial exchange in the US that lets you trade on events founded by 2 MIT engineers that have expanded to all 50 states, and they've been growing their movie market. It keeps you up to date with all of the latest predictions for each of the categories, with a timeline that follows all these new award shows, so you can see who won on what dates on the graph and how it affects the percentages, so you have the best online data for how they're polling. And since it's also an open market, if you're an adult in the US, you can even play your own Oscar squares online. So whatever category you know better than Gold Derby, you can go ahead and match it there, like animated, which I believe is going to flow. So with $10, I can triple it back easy. So if you're interested in testing out your Oscar knowledge, click the link down below and get a $20 bonus post-deposit when you use the code. A reminder, again, this coverage is because I care about the Oscars, you know? It is the epitome of movies, you know, it's the high top whether people like it or not. And I think the idea that you can't criticize something that you grew up loving is crazy, you know? Like, that's like people telling you to leave a country instead of fixing it. Don't be a fool. Even if me covering these can entertain you in some way or at least put actual good movies on your radar, then at least I consider my job done. Other than that, let me know what you're ordering to eat for the Oscars, and until next time, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and listen to Colin.
We're going back to watch Shogun tonight and finish it up.